Hey everyone, this is Ken from Nippon Bro. How's it going? Today is Monday for me and it is the beginning of the week. Hope you guys are all doing good. Today is another tutorial video coming from me and it is all to do with Lightroom and how to make presets and when you should use them and maybe should you buy them? I'm not sure. But we're going to figure that all out today and right after the intro. Welcome back everybody. So again, today, Lightroom and how to create your own presets. But before we get into some of the exciting stuff of how to do your own presets, I just want to kind of explain to you what a preset is. Preset is basically something that is a template that is pre-edited and you can actually apply that template onto a photo to get a certain look and style that has been made by someone else or yourself. And along with that, there are some misconceptions of presets and what they actually are, because there are a lot of people that actually purchase them online from other photographers, creators, and they think that, you know, just buying it straight from them and applying it onto any other photos, they're going to get the exact same results. And come to find out, they spent all that money and they're kind of disappointed that they didn't get the same results. Maybe some photos they get the same results, but other photos, not really. It's kind of there, but it's not. And then a lot of these people just don't know how to kind of tweak those presets in order to be able to kind of show what they want or to better match what the seller has put on their kind of profile picture, I guess. And so they kind of get a little disappointed. So I'm trying to actually get you guys to create your own. So you're not going to be disappointed, one, and two, you're not going to be spending that much money on other people's presets, because at the end of the day, I just think that using other people's presets is not really your own style. And maybe if you don't really care about your own style or finding your own style, then I wouldn't mind people buying presets. I'm not against it totally, but I just think that for you and wanting to be creative and have your own style, have clients that actually know your style, have other photographers, you know, recognize you for your style. And that is probably the greatest recognition in the niche of photography. And that goes for videography as well. So if you find your own style, I think that is the best. So I'm going to teach you how to create your own, and hopefully this helps you with your future endeavors. So I'm going to be showing you a couple examples on my computer of photos that I'm going to create a preset for, and I'm going to apply it to other ones so you can kind of see the difference. And also I'm going to actually tell you what other photographers that are creating these presets are not telling you. Whether it might be in their disclosure, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to let you know point blank a little bit later on after we kind of get through this whole example portion of the video. So let's just get onto my computer here and I'm going to show you exactly how to create a preset. Alright guys, so I'm going to be showing you an example of how to create a preset with this JPEG image of a color checker board. Now, it doesn't really matter if you use a JPEG or a RAW image. Hopefully you are using RAW for any of your actual work, but I'm just showing you as an example with a JPEG because a preset works on JPEG, RAW, PNG, or TIFF files. So we're just gonna edit this one and I'll show you how that works. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put a reference and an active photo. So what this actually does is on the left hand side is your reference. Now I have two of the exact same JPEG files here. So I'm gonna put one of them as a reference so it doesn't move. And then the active one is going to be this side, and this is going to be the one that's getting edited. So you're going to see the difference in these two. Now, I'm not going to go too extensive into the actual editing because there's really not much to do. But this is just going to show you how to create a preset and everything so you guys kind of get the workflow of how everything is. So let's say, for example, you edit this photo. I'm just going to darken it, and I'm not going to really even try in this edit, just so you guys know. But now you can see a significant difference in reference and active, right? So what we're gonna do is create a preset. So let's say you like this look for whatever reason, and then you wanna create a preset. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna go onto this side here, and this is for Lightroom Classic. If you are using Lightroom CC, which is the newer version, and it is faster, and it's a lot easier on your computer. So if you are using kind of an older computer, maybe 16 gigabytes of memory of RAM or even 8 gigs, I would actually use Lightroom Classic because it uses the Adobe Cloud and all your stuff gets stored in the cloud, which means that you don't really necessarily have to store everything on your computer, so your computer doesn't have to overwork itself while it's using an editing app. So, having said that, I would use Classic if you have the power, just because a lot of people are just used to the classic layout of Lightroom. But if you want to go a little bit newer and a little bit more simplified and easier on the computer, then I would go with Lightroom Creative Cloud. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into this preset plus sign right here, and you're going to click on that and create preset. Now, it has automatically checked off everything that you possibly could have made a change on, except for the transformation. If you haven't done anything to the scale or anything, I wouldn't even worry about this. Again, I would always just keep this on default, to be honest. And if you want to go lens correction, that's fine if you already did it. But right here, what you're going to do is you're going to name this. So I'm just going to name it Color Checker Test. And group, you can group it wherever. I usually just put user presets, and I'm going to show you what that actually means. So everything's all good, you're just going to go create. So now you just created your first preset. So congratulations, you've just created one. Now you're going to actually go find it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go onto the left hand side here, and you're going to scroll all the way down. And for me, I have a lot of presets, so let's go down all the way. Now you're going to find user presets. So this is where it is, and you're going to just click on the drop down menu, and you're going to see your color checker list. Now you can right click on this user preset, and you're going to go rename. Now you can rename this as anything you want. First preset created. This is just going to group everything together in the future. So if you want to use that in the future reference, so if you want to use those for any other photos in the future, you can definitely use them. I'm actually pretty lost. Oh, there it is. So this is where the preset is. Now this has already a preset. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to reset this one right here, and you're just going to click reset, and everything's just going to go back to normal. Now, let's say I want to apply the actual preset that we just created. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to find our preset, and boom, it already changes. You can kind of hover over it just to see what it looks like. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to click on it to confirm it, and now it's baked into your photo. So that's exactly how you create the preset and apply it. So now that you know how to create a preset and how to apply a preset, we're just going to go into more of a real world situation with raw image photos and just actual photos that I actually took. So I'm going to show you some examples of how I would kind of create a preset and then how to apply it, and also what would happen if you created one preset and then applied it to a completely different lighting condition photo. And this is where people get a little bit of a misleading of presets when they don't get the same look. So I'll show you an example. All right, so what we're gonna do is just go on to the left-hand side here. I have some photos here that are duplicates, so you guys can kind of tell the difference. So I'm going to actually put this photo onto the left-hand side for reference. And then these are all raw formats, by the way. And then I'm gonna put this one onto the active side so you guys can see the changes that I'm making. All right, so let's just do a quick edit on this one. I'm just gonna go auto exposure here. Now that's gonna bring out the sky a little bit, good. And then maybe churn up the clarity, dehaze a little bit. Maybe change the exposure just a touch. And yeah, that looks about right. Maybe change the kind of the warmth. That looks about nice. All right, maybe tone curve a little bit. Just kind of put some points in here. All right, not to blow out the sky too much. Maybe I might have to do a little something different. Again, I'm not gonna spend too much time editing this photo just because it's, you know, almost redundant to do so, just because this is almost an example. But here we are. I just kind of fixed it. You can kind of tell the before and after there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this as a preset. So again, go over to your plus sign here, which I need to scroll all the way up for, and click on here, create preset. All right, so what we're gonna name this is just sunset. Group, let's put it in, we'll just put it, actually, let's put it in the preset we just created. First preset created. All right, we're gonna put it into that folder. Again, leave everything checked and create. Now that we have created that preset, what we're gonna do is just show you again what would happen if you apply it, and it should just end up the same. So again, reset this photo, go to your preset that you have saved. I'm just gonna close all these down because they're kind of annoying. As you can see the sunset preset, and click on that, and it's baked in there, applied. So what we're gonna do is, let's say we take this preset and we put it into another photo. All right, another completely different lit photo. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this over to our reference here. This is kind of a sidewalk photo. A little bit of the similar lighting here, but of course it's in the shadows more and we might get a different result. Now, remember this photo here. Well, actually, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna put this one into reference so you guys can see, so you don't have to remember. And we're gonna put this new photo onto the active. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna automatically put the sunset preset onto this one and see what happens. And we're gonna get this super underexposed, and I'm just gonna click on that so we bake it in. So now it's underexposed. It looks nothing like this. Similar kind of tone colors, but you're not even close to having this a perfect photo. Now, what you're gonna have to do is tweak it. Now, this is where a lot of people get disappointed. A lot of people don't know how to tweak photos of a preset that someone else made. Why? It's because, well, it's very obvious, because you didn't make that preset. So if you didn't make it, well, of course, you're not gonna know how that person got there to the first point. And unless you actually know every single step of what everything does, and even then you might not even know what the creator did to that preset, because they might have put some masking in there or some gradient or anything that they could have possibly done to that preset. It's a guessing game. So this is why you should create your own, and I highly recommend you try. And you can sell your own presets, but for me, I don't really sell my own presets. The only reason why I don't sell my own presets is because, one, I highly recommend people to learn themselves. And I think this is what makes photographers, not to rely on other people's work, and to be original. And I think that is, something that you need to have in your arsenal of skills when it comes to taking client work. And the second point, and the last, is because you're creating your own presets, you know how you got there. You know what photo that you created that for, and you can name it whatever you want for you to remind yourself what it was, and then you can apply it to a photo that you've taken recently to be able to match that kind of mood that you had before. So just going back in here, I am going to try to tweak this a little bit, and I think it just needs a little bit of light to the photo. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna increase the exposure just a bit here. And that's starting to look okay. And the blacks are a little bit too harsh on this, so I'm just gonna bring that up. And let's see, the whites, yeah. And it's looking, I'm kind of trying to match whatever's right here, kind of brightly lit right here, with kind of the brightly lit trees over here. So as long as these two are somewhat trying to match, then I'm okay. It's not going to be perfect at the end of the day, but again, I think that matches more over here, so you kind of get something that is similar. So you can kind of post these together and it will look similar because it has that kind of warm feeling to it, but yet it's completely different photos. So if you are trying to create some kind of aesthetical Instagram grid where it's like, let's say, autumn theme. So right now it's autumn and you want red and orange. So you can create a preset just for that. But a lot of people do a lot of tweaking in their photos to make it look a little bit better. So you're not just kind of going all right, let's just apply preset and post, preset, post, preset, post. No, this is how you exactly don't use presets. Presets are not a one-time click thing that you should rely on all the time to be able to just get the work done quick and post it. It's actually something that is speeding up your workflow. So it's just a tool that you use to get 90% of the way there, and the extra 10% you're gonna make it original. All right, so that's exactly how you should be using a preset. Now, going back into here, I got a different photo here, completely different, matter of fact. This is a long exposure light photography. This one's a little blurry. I should have picked another one, but you're gonna kind of get the gist of how this is gonna work. So again, what we're gonna do, apply the sunset preset. Wow, that looks awesome. The only thing with this one is it's a little bit too orange and red. I would like to put a more orange in there than red. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna bring up the exposure just a tad here. And then I'm gonna choose this to be a little bit more warmer, just to kind of get these highlights kind of into the pavement here. And of course, this is day and night, so you're not gonna exactly get the same aesthetic, but you can kind of match the oranges and everything. But again, this is just an example to show you that I have a preset, and depending on your lighting condition or your environment of where you are or the type of photo that you took, the preset is gonna look completely different. So please, when you are purchasing presets from anyone, do not expect to get the exact same results unless you are taking the exact same type of photo that they are taking. So you tend to have people who sell, let's say, presets for night photography, and you kind of get these neon glowing lights and it's all kind of euphoric and dreamy look. Now that's a look that works, and that's a kind of a preset that they made for that particular type of photo. So if you kind of go out to the city and take similar types of photos, you're gonna get similar types of results with a little bit of tweaking. Now, you can ask any photographer, they're not going to actually click on a preset and just be happy with it. They're gonna actually try to tweak it, maybe lower the opacity on that preset maybe, which unfortunately you can't really do with Lightroom, but you can try to tweak it a little bit in order for the intensity not to be as so intense. Usually you can adjust the clarity and the dehaze to be able to lessen the detail and less processed look, and if that's the look that you're going for, then great. But again, like I've been saying for so many times, that photography is subjective, I believe, and if you think that that photo looks good, your editing of your style looks good, then that's all that really matters. Now, if you're doing client work, it's a little bit different because now you're trying to please someone else, not just yourself. So you can't really be too selfish into thinking that, you know, my work is good, you better just pay me and move on with it. No, that's not how it works. You know, customer's always right to a certain point. So, you know, if a customer hires you for your style, now that's one thing. And they like your style, but they want to tweak it just a little bit for maybe their company look. Now you're going to have to actually work with them to be able to achieve that so you can actually get paid for your work. Sure, it's not 100% your kind of original style, but you have to make a living out of this. And if you kind of are too picky with client work, just as you are with your own photos for your own social media, you might not be that successful in this field because you want to actually get, you know, more clients, more money, so you can invest in more equipment or anything else and create a name for yourself. And once you have created that kind of reputation for yourself for a certain style, then maybe these clients will not ask you to change your style. It's just more of you, they're paying for you, your name, your brand, and you've made it. That's when you know you've made it. But until then, unfortunately, you're gonna have to kind of work with the clients, and you don't have to give up everything. You know, they've hired you obviously because you had a portfolio that you showed them, and you know, they love your style. So, you know, you're gonna have to just kind of bounce back and forth. But at the end of the day, you're trying to make a living, you're trying to make a name for yourself and to get more other clients. So I would just say, put your chin up and just go in with your pride, your skills, and just to build a rapport with clients and to just have fun with all this. And that's all I'm trying to do, is to try to teach people how to try to have fun, even though this is a little bit more tedious work than most people would expect. So if you like this video, please smash the like button and turn on those notifications for future tutorials like this. I'm actually going to be creating a photography editing 101, which I am going to solely base it off of Lightroom Classic and Lightroom Creative Cloud, and just actually goes through everything, through exposure, what contrast does, what highlights does, and every single slider that you can see. I'm actually going to go through it all, and it might be, I don't know, it might be a 5-part series or something, but this is all going to be free. You know, you can go onto Skillshare and any other website if you'd like and try to learn from other people, and which you should. I don't think you should just minimize yourself to one creator, one photographer, one videographer. I think you should just listen to everyone and what they have to say. They probably have the end goal of, you know, teaching you the exact same thing, but how they interpret it to you is going to be a little different, and that might be the, you know, the deciding factor of whether you're going to understand it or not in the end. So I'm going to be creating mine. Mine's going to be all free on my YouTube channel here at Nippon Bro, and I'm going to create a playlist so you guys can easily navigate to episode 1, 2, and 3, and so on and so forth, depending on how many I create. So I'm going to create that for you guys in the coming months, and hopefully you guys enjoy that one, and you can share that to anyone that you'd like who are just getting into photography, or maybe groups that you know that there's a lot of beginners in, and you guys can just share that playlist for other people to kind of educate themselves with editing softwares like Lightroom. Again, if you are new to this channel, please press the red button for a subscribe. It does help me out a lot, and it helps me to justify being able to create these videos for free for you. And you know, I could kind of go onto Skillshare and create this video and make everyone pay for it, but I just feel really bad for doing that, only because I just think that education should be free around the world, and I'm not trying to advocate that by any means by doing this, but for me, I just feel really bad for taking money from people, especially when these information are out there on the internet for free. The only difference between, you know, you doing your research, and which you should do your own research, but the only difference between kind of visual content like this and me kind of portraying my message to you is if you are visual and you like to hear things and see things at the same time, then this is more of a content for you, and YouTube is a great platform to learn, as well as articles that you see on Google. So again, hope you guys learned something from this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.